Hello, family. Welcome back to Heal, Align, and Thrive. Um, if you're new here, we are what?
Hello, family. Welcome back to Hat, Heal, Align, and Thrive. If you're new here, this is your sacred space for healing, aligning, and thriving emotionally, spiritually, and relationally. Yeah.
Yes. I think, welcome back. My question would be, have you ever felt like there's something? Maybe you're in a relationship, but there's something off.
Yeah.
Like your partner needs much more space, or maybe you always feel like you need assurance from your partner, or you need to be reassured. But akuhlangani, man. But you're in a relationship and you want it to work, but akuhlangani, there's a lot more that you need.
Yes, I've been there with you. Definitely. I was once an anxious attachment. I always needed reassurance from you. Every single day, he had to tell me that he's not leaving. He loves me. I'm enough. I'm beautiful, and he's just never leaving. Definitely, I was an anxious attachment. Yeah,
Yeah,
big time.
yeah. And I think so many times um, I felt like you think that I'm avoiding you,
Yes.
or I'm kind of strategy that I'm planning, that I'm
Yes.
actually gonna have to
Yes.
exit.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so yes, but for me, I wasn't avoiding you. I think for me, I was secured within myself. So it was difficult for me to reassure you every day. That reassurance that you wanted every day. Hey, yeah, I wouldn't say.
Yes, and I actually thought you were an avoidant.
Yes.
I thought uyang avoider, and I really categorized my husband to be an avoidant.
Yes, because I
Yeah.
didn't like. It was hard for me to always be giving you that reassurance. Or if you know, because I'm like, yo, why does she need to be assured? I remember saying to you, no, baby, I'm not gonna reassure you every day,
Yes.
but you need to know. But I love you. I'm here. I'm not gonna go anywhere, but I'm not gonna reassure you every day. So you would be like, I know. I think he's
He's
an
leaving.
avoider.
Yeah. So today we're actually going to unpack three main attachment styles and also sharing our journey. You know, as I've mentioned that I was definitely an anxious attachment, but now I've moved to kind of like a secure attachment style. And we're also gonna have a mini kind of like quiz where you can see which attachment style you feel like you resonate with the most.
Definitely. Um, and with that said, I think what is really important is that um, attachment styles are really connected to the childhood, are informed by our childhood, where we loved, where our parents are distant,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So that's what today we're gonna unpack, and what it means for you.
Yes. So if your caregiver was present or responsive, you would develop more of a secure attachment style, But if the love was inconsistent and they were quite unpredictable, you would definitely either have an anxious attachment or an avoidant attachment style, or even both. So the type of attachment style you have as an adult, it really started off when you're a child. You don't just take it from thin air.
Yes.
It's how attached, or the type of attachment style you had to your own parent, how you guys related to one another.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Um, we're gonna go through a couple of the attachment styles. I think 3 that we're gonna mention in this video: secure attachment style, anxious attachment, and avoidant. The difference between those attachment
Three.
styles. Yeah.
Yes. So, firstly, secure, you feel safe, with emotional intimacy. I mean, that's all we all want to be secure and a secure attachment style, you feel safe and emotionally secure within yourself. You don't constantly need a reassurance because number one, you are safe within yourself. You don't feel the need to always prove your worth to someone so they can love you, so they can not leave, and you trust that love is stable and lasting. Whether I say I love you every day or I don't say it, but you know that the love is there. That's how secure you are. You don't need to constantly say it every day because you know it's there.
Yes. I think my question then is, if someone is, let's say, in a relationship with, they are anxious, but they're in a relationship with someone that's secure, how would that dynamic move?
So you mean our previous dynamic?
Those are indirectly. Yes, our dynamic. So how does a person get to a level where that dynamic is not constantly moving the relationship apart?
I would definitely say the anxious attachmenter, or the person who has the anxious attachment, should really dig deep into all the things that they want from their person to start giving that to themselves. The reassurance, the telling that I'm enough, all of those things. Start telling that to yourself. Start healing those parts of you that constantly need reassurance, and you give yourself that reassurance. That's your inner child actually screaming that we are not safe. We want someone to reassure because we think someone outside is going to reassure us instead of ourselves. I always felt like you are the one that's going to keep me safe. Like, you're my savior. You're going to save me from all these emotions that I'm feeling. You're going to come and be my knight in shining armor, and we're just going to fly away, And you are just basically going to be my protector. Yeah. That's what I really wanted, constantly. But also the father wound, because in our relationships, or in our relationship, I basically also wanted you to be the father, to me, the father, the brother, the uncle, the mother, the boyfriend, it was a lot, it was really, yes, okay. It was really a lot. But I would say everything that you feel like you need from your partner all the time, I need you to love me. Do that to yourself. Give that to yourself first.
That's true, because for me, I was always thinking, but why does she overthink about everything that's actually the opposite of what I am?
Yeah.
Is it the case now, if let's say you are an anxious attachment, or you have an anxious attachment style, you'd actually even miss your partner? Because I felt like you are misunderstanding me. If I'm saying I'm not going to leave, the little fights that we have, you're like, oh, so are you going to leave?
If you say, actually, no, I want to put it to the test. As an anxious attachment, I used to put it to the test that you're not going to leave, or start a fight and see if really, are you really not going to leave, And that was toxic, I must say, as the anxious attached, because it's almost like, I need you to prove to me that you're not going to leave. And I'm going to do all of these things in our relationship so you can prove your loyalty, basically, to me, and keep your word that you're not going to leave.
100%. So what I think about also anxious attachers is they are using what is supposed to be their strength as a weakness. Because I think a lot more times the feelings that you get, right? So feeling that I love him more than he loves me. I think overly feeling stuff, for me, I think it's a strength. But now if that's not channeled or senziwe sibekwe kwindawo right, it will always be your weakness. Because you're like, I do everything for him, but I feel like he would leave. So doing everything for your partner is more like, I want to be in this for a long term. this is in a positive way, but in a negative way where your anxious attachment gets in is where you you feel like the sacrifices that you're actually doing, right? Ingaske this ball.
Yes. Nami ndifuna ubona what I'm giving if there's a return on investment. Basically, yeah.
So how would then an avoidant be? Because for me, I felt like, okay, I don't need to, because I would say for me, I saw myself as a safely attached person, because I don't have to prove to my partner that they are worthy. Even him or prove it to them, because by us being in a relationship, it means we are doing this together, and we vow that we love each other. So all the things that say love are gonna be given. It's always give and give. So I wouldn't say give and take, but give and give, right? Or give and accept. So an avoidant, what would be an avoidant? Because you tagged me as an avoidant.
Yes, I did. An avoidant is definitely someone who avoids all emotional closeness. Everything that has to do with loving, touching, they're like, I got to eat, man. You know, they basically avoid that, and they really struggle with vulnerability.
Okay.
You didn't struggle with emotional closeness. Like me, like, yeah, you really didn't struggle. But of course, once he was there, I was like, okay, every day. Can you just do it every single day? Yes, you know, but that's not.
But because days is as fun.
As fun, yes. Then. And you were really also vulnerable with how you were feeling. So basically, an avoidant is someone who avoids emotional closeness or even speaking about their emotions. They just avoid anything that makes them wanna go deep, or anything. If they sense that, okay, I feel like I'm falling for this person, they draw away. You know, they just abort mission.
Now, that's a good one. How is that tied to the inner child? So, I mean, we're still talking about our story. How is that tied to the inner child? How you developed your anxious attachment. Now, how can you explain how you got to develop that and moved away from that? Yeah.
So I definitely had emotionally unavailable parents as a child. So both of my parents not being emotionally available for me, I had to definitely fend for myself as a child. So a child fending for themselves emotionally, they don't even know what emotional regulation is. So they're basically learning at a go, and they're learning what is a coping mechanism, you know, how they can cope with this. But that's how it was created. I had emotionally unavailable parents, and they were just not there. So I had to basically fend for myself. And as I grew up, of course, what I did not get from them, I was now starting to look for that in my partners.
Me as a partner.
Yes, okay. Like basically that's how I wanted you to be my dad.
So
be my dad. Tell me I'm beautiful. Let me sit on your lap and tell me that I am beautiful. You're my princess. I'm never leaving you. You're gorgeous. You know, so a father does that. Parents do that to their kids, you know?
Now, because I felt like I was doing that as a partner. Ne? Okay. So where did I fail you as an anxious attacher? Because I felt like as a partner, I'm doing that, right? I'm affirming that you're beautiful. I love you, and I want to be here for you. Yeah. I want to be like if you stay here for me. But now my thing is, when is enough, or when is overdoing? Because I felt like you wanted me, but the overdo I'm like, yo,
it has really nothing to do with you, because you are not going to be the one to change how, or my core beliefs, or my system beliefs. You're not the one that's going to do that. I have to do that. No matter the reassurance you give me, I was still not believing it, because my belief system does not believe that or doesn't believe in the fact that I can be loved, doesn't believe that I am beautiful, it doesn't believe that I am celebrated, you know, it doesn't believe that. But it's a me thing that I had to.
Now we have
I had to do. It's a me thing because someone could say, "Oh, you're so beautiful," but do I believe I'm beautiful? Do you believe you're beautiful? That's the question. If someone says, "Oh, you're so beautiful, I love you," you know what? I'm never gonna leave. Do you believe that? Your core beliefs. Do you believe that?
Yeah.
So it had nothing to do with you, but everything to do with me.
Yeah. So I think you said it beautifully, and I just think Uba Nanzi enye. When you're actually in a relationship dynamic where there's anxious attachment, and the secure will always feel like this one is an ick because they want this, and the anxious attacher is gonna be saying, when I think you are not actually, because you're not getting there to that level where I start to believe you.
Yeah.
But this is more like an internal.
Yes, it's an internal belief system thing. 100%.
Gotcha.
Beautiful. Yeah. So, what did you think of like being an avoidant? Have you been like how did you feel when I always thought you were an avoidant attachment style, or you had an avoidant attachment style?
That's a very good question. So I think my body didn't allow me to accept that. But because nangafuni sixabane even about that.
Oh no, we're saying diagnosing. You just avoid.
Because I'm like the teeny So I think for me, I just took it upon myself and say, okay, if she sees me as an avoidant, that's her problem. For me, that's a diagnosis, but that's a you problem. But I feel like for me, I know in the relationship, and I think that's why basically class and we get to a point of no return. You'll jump in and say, are we parting ways?
Just tell me now so I can prepare myself. I can just, let's get it over and done.
So this is what I would say. I'm like, baby, I must be just look. And that would make you so mad because I'm like, I've been misdiagnosed with a relationship, and I've been and it's the person that I am. And that would make you so mad because I'm not saying the things that you actually want to affirm you again and say, oh no, baby, you know what? Let's.
Why are you not chasing me? Guys, it's not healthy. Okay, it's really not healthy, and it's really not healthy, guys. We really have to be emotionally mature, okay? And that's how you go from an anxious or an avoidance to secure. When everything you always want from your partners, you start giving
become available to yourself.
Become available to yourself. Yes, become available to yourself. And secure attachment is not. I used to think now secure attachment people are perfect. They have their shit together. Like, oh, Nina, you guys are like the big boss, and then we're like just. But it's still not like that. As I'm in my secure attachment style, it's still not like that. I still have emotions that I go through, but now I don't turn to you to always fix or hear what I'm feeling. I have to do that to myself. I don't run to say, okay, make me feel better. Tell me I'm beautiful. Tell me you love me. Do it or whatever. I do that for myself.
You're beautiful.
Thank you. And I'm sorry for saying you're an avoidance. But here's a mini quiz, guys, before we leave. Okay, grab your pen and your paper, or you can actually just reflect as we are reading this.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can start with the first one.
So the first question would be, do you often worry about your partner? That you might lose interest in you out of the blue, by the way.
Yeah.
Do you worry often about your partner that you might lose interest in you?
True. Second one is, do you feel anxious if your partner do you feel anxious if your partner doesn't text you back quickly?
Yo.
This one was my favorite, Shem.
The third one, Athi, do you overanalyze your partner's mood or tone? I think the topic is something else.
Why are you using that? It's the tone.
It's the tone. it's not what you said, but it's the oh.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do you struggle to express your emotions openly? Emotional vulnerability, is that something that you struggle with to do with your partner? Even to yourself, you know? Yeah.
It's a question number 5.
Yes.
Number 5. Do you feel overwhelmed when someone gets too close emotionally?
Yeah. And the last question is, do you trust your partner and navigate conflict calmly? Or you fuck?
Oh.
Is it that, or you guys can actually navigate conflict calmly?
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, that was the end of our video. Drop your attachment style that you kind of like resonated a lot with in this video, and let's support each other. Don't forget to visit our website and all of our platforms. I'm Katleho on TikTok, and you are
RTG
on TikTok. Yes.
Yeah. My final word is, my friends, the attachment styles are not permanent stuff.
Yes.
You can change that to favor a relationship. If you wanted to build a healthy relationship, it's stuff that you need to sit and talk about and have a conversation about those.
Yes. So thank you so much, everyone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and visit our website at www.healalignandthrive.co.za.
Yeah, let's keep healing, aligning, and thriving.
Bye.